In this video, we will show you how to change the alternator on your Jeep Grand Cherokee. You can find it on CarParts.com via the link in the description. For safety reasons, we advise you to disconnect the battery. To do so, we recommend watching the video. How to replace the Jeep Grand Cherokee car battery. In order to remove the alternator, you need to remove the serpentine belt from the alternator pulley. We recommend taking a picture or to draw the path of the belt around the different pulleys in order to position it correctly later. Using a breaker bar and a 3/8-inch drive extension socket, loosen the belt by turning the serpentine belt tensioner counterclockwise. Meanwhile, remove the serpentine belt from the alternator pulley. Using a ratchet and a long 13mm socket, unscrew the nut on the holding bolt of the alternator. Then remove the negative terminal. Unscrew the retaining bolt. Then, using the same tools, unscrew the last two alternator retaining bolts. You can now move the alternator. Remove the rubber protection from the positive terminal. Using a ratchet and a 13mm socket, unscrew the positive terminal retaining nut. Then remove the positive terminal. Disconnect the power cables from the alternator. To do this, use a small screwdriver to push the red locking tab, then pull on the connector. You can now pull out the alternator. Sand the alternator terminals with abrasive paper to remove the layer of oxidation and to avoid breakdowns in the long term. You can order the alternator used in the video on CarParts.com via the link in the description. Take the new alternator. Unscrew the nut from the positive terminal. Plug the electrical connector back in, then lock it. Bring the alternator closer. Replace the positive terminal. Next, screw back on the nut until it's tight. You can then screw the nut back in using a ratchet. Put the rubber protection back on. Return the alternator to its housing. Then loosely screw the first two bolts back on. Finish the tightening of the bolts with a torque wrench. Lastly, screw the last bolt back on by hand at first. Then screw the retaining bolt back on using the ratchet. Finish tightening using a torque wrench. Replace the negative terminal. Then screw the nut back on. Finish off tightening the nut with the torque wrench. You can now put the serpentine belt back in place. Slide the belt around the different elements, respecting the layout from the initial assembly. To fully put it back in place, lift the serpentine belt tensioner in order to wind the serpentine belt onto all of the pulleys. Then release the belt tensioner to fully extend the belt. Reconnect the battery. Operation complete.